Alright guys, welcome back to Thornton Farm. So we are in the silage field we started yesterday, just clearing up this first couple of trailer loads of round bales. We're actually going to be selling this trailer load straight away off the trailers today. So we're going to park it up in the yard, and somebody's coming very shortly with a lorry, and they're going to take all of these away, which is very nice. We are in the process of getting a few things ready today for turning some hay tomorrow. It's been down on the ground now for about an hour, about a day, beg your pardon. So we're going to be looking after that tomorrow there. So yeah, everything is going very well so far. We've been using the new front loader on the Valtra this morning, or this afternoon, which has gone very well. The only problem I've been having is with the bale grab. There's something not quite right with one of the seals on the hydraulic ram on the grip, which is kind of causing the grip to stick and not release the bales at times. So we're gonna have to have an extended period in the workshop, I think, and see what we can figure out what's wrong with that one. It is a little bit of an older grab though, so it's not too surprising that it's got its issues. But other than that, the load has been fantastic. The Vulture handles it very well. When you're doing a job such as moving bales around like this, it's not bothered by it one bit really. And it's certainly a little bit more agile than the wheeled loader, the new 435 we have. So this is probably going to be looking like the last of the work we'll be doing this evening, aside from when this contractor arrives and we can haul the silage bales away. So tomorrow we've got a full day planned, so the boys are going to be clearing the rest of this field and tedding hay. I'm just waiting for confirmation via phone call as to what I'll be doing, but rest assured there's plenty of work to be done. For example, we still have a little bit of work left to do on the old square baler that we need to really push on before we start to use it too much more, or at all this season. So yeah, just little service and things like that at this time of year on top of everything else, but we almost want to have a rainy day to try and get those done. They're all really rainy day tasks at the moment. So yesterday, as you can see, we put the frames on the edge of the trailer just to kind of help and aid the process with the round bales. I'm thinking I might try and take the back one off and just leave the front one on for the big squares, so it gives us like an edge to build up against. But other than that, it's worked out okay for me today. So yeah, now we're just gonna park up in the yard here, wait for the haulier to come by and see when he's gonna actually shake a leg and get here. We'll get this unloaded, and then we'll probably just join back in with you tomorrow morning actually, and we'll see where we stand and what the plan of attack is for tomorrow. Well, good morning everybody. So we're back again. Got those bales unloaded last night. The haulage contractor came quite late, actually about 8 o'clock to get those. But they are out of here. I've got the two boys in the field just over the road here. Chris is tedding hay. You can just see in the distance there, Matt's loading up some, well that's a trailer at least, I don't know where Matt is, but he's loading up bales on silage bales to be brought back to the yard here. I am off to do a little bit of contract mowing this morning. So we are heading up the coast. I haven't got a great deal to do here. Apparently there's in the region of somewhere along the lines of about 20 acres I think of mowing, so I'm gonna head off there and do that. I do believe we're gonna go back in there and bale it at a later date, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes about. But for now, we're just gonna make our way up through the village here, and we'll get our way cracking onto the main road. As you can see, everything's growing along nicely here. We are, I don't know, a few weeks off from the rate being ready to go. Probably gonna get desiccated in about a week or so's time. But yeah, everything else is coming along quite nicely. Very happy with the progress we're making. This warm weather we're seeing right now is going to be perfect for that. It's really going to allow everything to dry out a little bit. We get a little bit of rain every so often, and then the sun comes in, so it's perfect growing conditions really. And we are good to go. Perfect. So like I said, the drive's about 20 minutes, not too much at all. We're going to head over and then we will get this grass knocked down quickly. And then we might go and have a drive through. I've still got, I've got 3 acres or 3 fields of land over there, 2 of which are potatoes I think at the moment. So we're going to go and have a look at those and then check on the, see how the ground's coming along there. That's going to be a little bit further away. I'm not expecting that to be ready to go for any time yet. But it's always nice to keep an eye out and see how the crops are coming along. Nothing coming here. I'm just going to get around this corner. Alrighty guys, so I will see you on the other side. Just going to take this drive. It's about 40 minutes, so we'll see you shortly. Right guys, we are about 5 minutes away now. We're just going to cruise along this little road here, and there's 2 fields to cut down. I believe it's about 15 acres all in. I think it's a little bit out there before. But yeah, so it won't take too much longer. And we'll get this knocked down very quickly, and then we'll be able to get away back home. But it's nice to keep picking up little contract work like this. It's always nice to know that people still value your work. So this is the first one. They sailed straight past the gate there. So yeah, quite a thick little crop of grass. I think this is going to be knocked down and baled into silage as well. So we're probably going to come out and bale that. We'll have a chat with the farmer once we get this done. But he just wants it knocked down on the floor for now, and I think he's going to kind of assess how much grass is actually there once we come around to and then make a decision on how he wants to bale this up. This is a little bit tight to get into here though. Make another cut. One thing's for sure, the gateway that tight. I hope I'm not leading a carton out of here with the bale trailer. Okay, so we'll get everything folded down. So each individual field shouldn't take us that long to get it cut actually. Like I say, they're not too large. So we'll make a start and see how it looks. I do trimming these trees back a little bit, but that's not my problem. So how you been doing, guys? I hope everyone is well. As you may have noticed, we put something new up on the channel. We've got some a new series, the work entitled The Coldborough Park Farm Chronicles, which is pretty interesting. If you haven't seen that, make sure you do jump across and have a quick look. It's going to be primarily livestock focused by the looks of things, but it is looking like, well, I'm certainly enjoying it so far anyway. So with a little bit older equipment, and a lot smaller scale, that's for sure, but it's definitely interesting and appealing to me. So yeah, do go and check that out when you get a moment to. And let me know if you guys do anything differently on Coldborough Park to what I'm doing. Let me know. I do know a few of you guys are focusing more on the Coldborough Park farm itself, whereas I'm looking at working through Chantry Farm primarily. So yeah, do let me know if you do anything else differently. That'd be really cool to know. Sailing through here at the minute. Shouldn't take too long to get this second round of headlands done. There are a few weeds in the grass here, which is, you know, if you're, I think the farmers is giving this to regular cattle, so that cattle typically aren't too fussy as to what they eat. But if you were going to be baling this up for sheep or anything, you'd probably want to take control of those weeds and keep those out of your silage or hay or whatever you're producing at the end there. One good method to do that, I find quite often, is to plant clover in there. Clovers are good at consuming a lot of the nitrogen and phosphates in the ground there that weeds would rely on. So if that's taken out, they have nothing to grow with really. So clover is a good one, but yeah, it's all kind of dependent upon the circumstances, I suppose. What begins on still? Oh, we'll split this field up in the middle here, and it's not going to take too long to get all this wrapped out. I'm just going to square this edge off here, and then I'm going to come back down and tidy up the little nooks there. The best way to go. I typically only leave 4 headlands. In this case, because it's a smaller field, I haven't got much of a boundary. I perhaps should have left 6, just to give me a little bit more space there. But we'll work with what we've got at the moment. I'll just get all this little triangle knocked out, and then let's get him onto the bigger passes there, nice and easy. The benefit, I love having this vent because it's powerful enough to hold front and back mowers there, but it is still small and agile enough to be able to whip around in smaller fields such as this one. I do really like this vent. And the mower setup is perfect for me as well. It's not too big. Butterfly mowers are a little bit more than I could ever need at this stage. Butterfly mowers also cost an awful lot more than I'm willing to pay at this stage as well, so there is that consideration. Didn't get my mower down in time. But yeah, this setup works perfectly for me really at this stage. I have seen floating around, there's quite a few of the older trailed mowers, the Kverneland mowers, floating around for download, but they haven't yet made it onto the mod hub, so they won't be coming my way, that's for sure. So once again, I'd just like to take the opportunity to kind of thank everybody for following me on these journeys so far. I do like to try and keep it nice and fresh, try and do something different. I appreciate there are a lot of people out there on the YouTubes doing very similar things, so it is always important to try and take your own style with it. I like to try and keep it as realistic as possible as well, and kind of journal everything I'm going through. And that does mean that I have to do a lot of off-camera work just to keep everything flowing, but so be it. If that's the way it needs to go, that's the way we'll keep it going. But yeah, so thanks very much for that. Like I say, in the next few weeks we're going to be looking into a lot of harvest. We're not too far away from the crops being ready, so we're going to have, in no particular order, there's going to be more hay, barley, wheat, sugar beet, whole crop. So there's going to be plenty of us for us to go on. It's going to be a busy time ahead, no doubt. Just about got in there in time. This field is the larger of the two. I think the one next door is about half this size really, so it won't take too long to complete that at all. I might have to come back and just tidy up a few edges there. Lifted up too early as well. That's annoying. So I'm getting a little bit worried about how consistently nice and warm these days are having at the moment. It's very good, but we could be in for an actually decent summer at this rate. There's a slim chance I might be able to pull out the entire harvest uninterrupted, which I can't remember the last time I've seen or heard of that. So this doesn't seem right for a British summer. It's too many blue days of blue sky and sunshine. Quite peculiar. Let's come back and tie this end up here. And away we go, that's number 1 in the books. Make sure everything else is full at the back, lovely. And like I say, we're just gonna, it's a shame there's no gate through the hedge there, but c'est la vie, we'll just cut around. Assume there's no one coming. One thing when you do have a front mower on is does make it exits and entrances of fields a little bit tricky. Okay, here we go. Alright then, so this is a little bit more narrow I believe, but still shouldn't take too long to do. I'm just going to put a cut in here because I'll never get into that field there. So cut in. Get everything unfolded and away we'll go. This field won't take too long at all to complete, so we might get some nice little shots of this, and we'll see how we're looking. But yeah, all in all it won't take too long. Let's get everything set away. Alrighty then. By the time we get the headlands off here, there won't be much left at all. It's going to be a field that's going round and round almost. Start to get a little bit dizzy after a while. So I am thinking I do a cycle where I lease and I change my tractors around. One of my leases for the vouchers is going to come up very shortly. So the hire purchase is done, so we're going to be looking to renew. I do like the vouchers. I think they're a great tractor, but I am also considering a change. So what I would like is if there's any machines that you guys would love to see come onto the farm. Please do let me know. I'm open to a lot of suggestions and I'm interested to see your comments, so please do let me know what you think, and if you have any favourites. And I'm willing to consider anything really, so as long as it's not too expensive and it fits the requirements and the output of the farm. I'm not going to go for anything obscenely large like a quad track or anything. That just wouldn't make much sense. But yeah, if you do have anything else in mind, then of course please do let me know and I'll take it into consideration. It's a little bit rough down there, it's not cutting very evenly in there, that's a shame. Yeah, I'll probably put one more headland on here just to give me a little bit of breathing space, I do think. Start down here now. Lovely stuff. Look at the views you can have around here with the mountains in the background. It's just glorious. Turn my flashing lights off, it's a bit too much. So as you can see, you may remember from previous videos, the field on the other side of the road here and the next two down or up north in the way the tractor's facing are mine. Now the one on the opposite side of the road here actually has potatoes in. This wasn't me. This has actually been leased out for a season for to a neighbouring farmer who needed a little bit more land, so he's planted some potatoes into those two. And then we got spring barley in the spring wheat, sorry, in the far field, which that is my crop. I will be bringing the combine back over to collect that when it's ready. But yeah, so it's nice just to get some root crops into there, just to help with the compaction and help with the drainage on the land. And also I didn't have because of the harvest that I was having, I didn't have the ability to get over here and plant in time, so it seemed like a wise move to allow someone else to take on that burden, get something planted and make use of the field, and also bring some nutrients back in the ground really for me, so it's worked out very well on that front. So yeah, there's a little bit more land there for us to look into and look after. It's always nice, and I'll be looking forward to getting out my own crop in there next year. Because it's had potatoes, I'm probably going to put in I might put in a crop of oilseed rape there, depending upon when the field's cleared. We'll see how it's looking. Oh, just hit the GPS button there, that didn't go too well. There we go. Perfect. And now the final little bit here. As the sun's even starting to set as well. Perfect. Alrighty then guys, so what I'm going to do, just going to spring this into here, and we'll make sure we get everything packed up one more time, fold the mower up, there we go, make sure it latches in, lovely stuff, and then fold the front mower up. Just have a quick look around there, everything's looking nice and clean. The grass was a little bit wet actually when we cut it, so it's kind of kept everything nice and clean looking on the mower. Tractor's looking clean. What a machine. Yeah, everything's looking good in the mower. So then guys, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to head back down to the yard and see how the boys are going with the silage stack in there. But until the meantime, I will see you in the next one. So don't forget to hit that like button and stay subscribed to Simulation for the Nation. And hey, I just figured out there's a little bell button as well. If you press that, that'll let you know whenever we are releasing any new material, which is typically 3 to 4 times a week. So keep an eye out for that for sure. Enjoy what you're doing. Until we see you next time, happy farming.